In between the two wings, on the right-hand side, you will see a little black person. That is Teresa Stokes, ladies and gentlemen, riding between the wings and waving to you. Teresa Stokes flying between the wings of the great big Showcat, and that's where she starts her performance today. Give her a wave. She's waving at you. She's been flying with Gene on the wing of that big Showcat airplane. She won her very first art contest at the age of 4 years old. Now, many of the aerobatic maneuvers that Gene did earlier in the show, he is going to do it. He's got a passenger on board, tucked between the wings of the big Showcat. Now she's hanging on to the wires there that are in between those wings. Quite a place to ride in an airplane. I'll tell you, if you like fresh air, this is the place to be.
That's economy class, I think.
That is economy, yep. That's bring your own lunch. Okay, now what's she doing? She is climbing from in between the wings into the front cockpit and then climbs from the front cockpit onto the top wing. And there you see her. Gene flew earlier in the show today. And once Teresa is in the waist belt attached to the wing stand and signals to Gene that she's secure, he will begin to do all kinds of wonderful things in that airplane. And Teresa will be feeling those incredible wind blasts on the top wing, going through many of the aerobatic maneuvers that Gene performed in his solo act earlier on in the Airshow. And 4-point rolls, but I think Teresa's loving the whole thing.
Well, now, Bob, you've had personal experience of being on the top wing of a great big biplane.
Never forget, any ride in any airplane doesn't have any comparison with this. Riding on the outside is like, okay, Gene goes up, over the top. Teresa hanging upside down, still waving her hands. Loving every minute of this experience Saturday afternoon. The big Showcat, loving every minute of it too, obviously. The great big Barnstormers loop, and you know that's where this wing walking thing started, was back in the days of the Barnstormers. Back to knife edge, and 4, there's the 4-point roll with Teresa standing on the top wing of the airplane. Oh man, the big Showcat.
You know, it must hurt if you get struck by a bug up there.
It's kind of like getting hit by a bullet. Yeah. And the same thing if it's raining. Right. Usually they don't do the wing walk act if it's raining because it hurts. Believe me, it hurts. You could be seriously injured in a rainstorm. Besides being darn wet. Okay, coming over the top, diving back into the show area. Up we go. Big loop. It is impossible to describe what that really feels like, folks. You can like, well, after a while, hey, she looks like she's having fun. And she is. It is an experience. On those diving maneuvers, you are feeling incredible forces of wind. She is undergoing G-forces, both positive and negative. Three, there's a 4-point roll to upside down, so this will end up to be 6, 7, and an 8-point hesitation roll. Now, Gene is going to come back in this time from the right, the western end of the airfield. Coming down low, pulls the nose back and rotates the airplane upside down. Now, as he pulls away this time, he will be very gently banking the airplane, because what's happening up there now is Teresa Stokes is going to start to unbuckle herself from that strut. And she will be moving freely about the top wing. And this time when she comes by, she will be stretched across the stand at an angle called the side saddle. There she is. Very long fingernails and toenails. Oh, now see how gently Gene banks the airplane, because again, Teresa Stokes will be changing her location on the top wing as Gene turns the airplane around. And of course he knows that she's maneuvering about up there with nothing to hold her on in the way of straps or ropes or any type of security. Let's see what she's doing this time as she comes back. Hangs sideways from the stand by just one knee, I believe. And they call this the Flying Lady. There it is. Now this one is a whole lot of fun, because as Gene again turns the airplane around, this time down at the eastern end of the field, he gives a little negative G push to float Teresa back upright. Well, this will be after. First of all, she's doing the headstand, ladies and gentlemen, so let's watch this. The headstand, where she's standing on her head now, leaned up against the strut. There she is, kicking her feet so you can see that it's really happening. Since it would be really hard for her to sit upright against all that wind force to get back upright on the top wing of the airplane. As Gene climbs away from the show line now, again you can see Teresa on the top wing of the airplane, wearing that dark outfit so she really stands out against the sky. As the airplane comes around, she is now climbing down from the top wing to the front seat, and when she goes by this time, she'll be shaking hands with Gene in the final pass that they call the handshake, as she congratulates her partner on another Airshow performance, this time at the 45th anniversary Abbotsford International Airshow. Give them a wave there, ladies and gentlemen. There's Teresa and there's Gene in the cockpit flying the airplane.
What a heck of a way to make a living.
Okay, you're going to get a real close-up look. A nice round of applause for Gene Soucy and Teresa Stokes, ladies and gentlemen, for a great job today.
Hey, you get to see just how big that Showcat is. That is not a small aircraft. That thing is huge. And it's a great airplane to go up in too, Bob. A few years ago when Gene was here, I got to sit in the front cockpit. No, I did not climb out in the air. But it's a pretty amazing machine.